Yes, self-care is more sleep and more water, but it's also the little things that we tend to let slide. That's where we unconsciously start to compromise our own self-care, and because it's little by little, we don't think it has an impact. But in actuality, all those little things start to pile up, and somehow we turn around and we feel burnt out, we feel exhausted, we feel overwhelmed, and we're left wondering, why do I feel this way when I'm doing some or all of those big self-care things? For me, the surface answer is always, well, I just don't have time for that right now, or oh, I can't, or I'll get to that later, which leads to a cluttered house or piled up dishes or a body that I haven't fed and I haven't hydrated because I just don't have time. Can you relate? I know some of you are not going to want to hear this right now, but the real first step in developing that willingness to really take care of yourself is breaking that addiction to having a victim mentality. Now, let me be clear. When I say victim mentality, I'm not referring to being a victim of a crime or being a victim of something that you can't control. I'm talking about being a victim of your own mind and your own limiting beliefs that are standing in the way of you developing the willingness to take care of yourself. It took me a really long time to accept that I had a deep wiring within my brain from past experiences, past trauma, and past influences of other people, maybe in my life or even in society, who also may have had a victim mentality, that I subconsciously had a tendency to reinforce a pattern of thinking in my brain that in order to be worthy, to be valuable, to be successful, I had to work to the point of exhaustion, and that if I was taking care of myself, I was lazy or selfish. We are breaking down the limiting belief that taking care of yourself is wrong or selfish right now. Taking care of yourself first is literally everything. It needs to be your number one priority. And the more time that you spend taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, taking care of your spirit, the more time you are going to create for yourself. So what are those sneaky little self-care things that we use a victim mentality on to let fall through the cracks? Take those few extra minutes to do a task correctly. Take those few extra minutes to tidy up your space that you're working in so that you don't feel anxiety. Take those few extra minutes to answer the phone when somebody that you love calls, and spend time in a good conversation with them to feed your spirit. All of those little things are going to add up, and they're going to help you be more productive, more focused, and better at accomplishing the task at hand. Another one of those sneaky self-care things that we tend to try to work around is multitasking. Now, if you're present and you're aligned, you might be able to multitask really well, but really stay conscious of how often your mind is wandering onto the whole rest of the day or the next steps that you have to take throughout the day, and not just focusing on the task at hand. I'm definitely guilty of this one a lot. I think that you'll notice the more present you can be with your work, with your space, with your family, the more engaging conversations you're going to have, the better you're going to accomplish your tasks at work, and the less anxiety you're going to feel when you have a nice, clean space. Even though this is one of those underlying self-care things, you may not realize that it's actually a driving force into why you are overworked, exhausted, and burnt out. This week I had to be really honest with myself, and I had to ask myself, am I really not making myself a nice dinner because I really don't have the time? Or is it because I have this addiction to a victim mentality that's telling me to overwork myself and not fuel my body with a healthy, proper meal? Catch yourself as many times as possible this week when you're feeling exhausted or overworked or depleted, and see how you could take better care of yourself in that moment. Next, I want you to really dig into why, if you do have this victim mentality, where does that come from? Is it something that you've learned from society? Were you raised in an environment where overworked and exhausted means that you're working hard and you're being successful? Take some time to really dig in to why you do compromise your own self-care. Think about those big self-care things that we talked about, especially those ones that you feel like, you scored lower than you would have liked to on. But also think about all those little self-care things that you could be tightening up on. All of those things, big or small, are really going to help you improve that willingness to take better care of yourself. As we've talked about throughout the episode, really understanding why you're not taking better care of yourself is the first step to understanding how to develop that willingness to take care of yourself. Next, I want you to think about all the ways that you can make it easier on yourself to maintain these self-care things. Come up with some little tips and tricks for yourself throughout the week that are going to help you stay on track with these self-care things that you know that you want to improve on. Make yourself a water bottle the night before, or maybe start to prep your meals ahead of time, or maybe even schedule in time to go outside during the day. Let us know on my Instagram what are the tips and tricks that you've come up with for yourself that are helping you take better care of yourself.
Hey, Love Lights! If you're finally ready to kick that victim mentality and embrace your innate worthiness to have and do and be everything you've dreamed of, I totally got your back. Join us in this live weekly group mastermind to set and crush your goals, break down limiting beliefs, and embrace your worthiness. This group mastermind is for anyone who wants to create a life they love. It is live every week, and spots are extremely limited, so I can dedicate my time to those of you who are really serious about taking control of creating and living your best life. You're also going to get a copy of my 30-day Willing Creative workbook. It is a fillable PDF, so you can download it right to your phone so you can keep yourself accountable to your goals every single day. So click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the mastermind.